So no matter how many yoga classes you take, this is a pragmatic world. That puts a stress. This takes it out. See, conceptually what happens with a flow tank, if you know about health and diet, this stuff has been, beaten down. I've said it 1,000 times. The diet should be 80% alkaline, which is fruit and vegetables. 20% is allowed to be of an acidic pH. Okay, if we look at that, you look at how most people eat. It's like 99% acidic, 1% alkaline, if it even is. Mm-hmm. So why aren't they dead? Why aren't their cells riddled with acidosis? Why aren't they acidic coming out their ears? Because they sleep. What sleep is, the body takes the blood, puts it through the kidneys, and the kidneys filter it and raise the pH to an alkaline pH. So all the normal people we know who eat and drink and abuse, the reason they're not dead is because they sleep. The salt content in this little thingy being so high, for everyone out there, how do you float? There's 800 pounds of Epsom salt in this thing. The water's this high. It's pretty amazing. Mm-hmm. So you lie on it, it's almost like a waterbed. But because of the intense level of salt, the alkalinity that gets put through the body, it has been estimated that 1 hour in a flow tank is 3.1 hours of sleep. Mm-hmm. So if you're a high-stressed urbanite and you're living on the edge, your adrenals are popping, 2 or 3 hours in this thing is a night's sleep. Mm-hmm. The level of alkalinity in the blood, the speeding of the alkalinity is 3 times that of sleep. Mm-hmm. And if sleep is good enough to keep people who live normal going well, you imagine what this does to people who live well. Yeah. See, it's a real elevation of the alkalinity of the blood. That's what makes salt bathing so phenomenal. People ask, well, can't I just sit in a bathtub of salt at home? Well, good luck putting 500 pounds of Epsom salt in your bathtub. Yeah. Good luck with that. See, it's the intensity of the salt that makes this so amazing. Yeah. Okay, so for those reasons, I knew it was something, I always wanted to do. It was just, again, not being a business person, I was never going to pull it off. I'm a Libra. I'm a great think tank guy, but forward motion, I have none. So I knew I had to bring people in, so I brought 2 phenomenal people in, and they were the ones responsible for setting up this space. I think what it does for people who get too intensely into this stuff, where the tail's wagging the dog, as I call it, this is a beautiful thing. It zens, it calms down. For the urbanite who's working to the bone, who barely has time to eat and sleep, this is a beautiful thing. You get 2 hours in this, and now all of a sudden the stress levels are gone. For somebody who's just having trouble getting by, where they've got that constant black cloud over their head, the stress levels are biochemically removed. I look at this bottom space here, it's cellular relaxation. In other words, you can go in with stuff in your head. You may come out with stuff in your head, but you can feel in your body, wow, I'm thinking this stuff, but I've got that Zen, Cheech and Chong body feel. Like I don't feel stressed. I'm not sweating. I don't have that heart palpitating skeeve like I do when I'm anxious. Yeah. And that's the biochemistry of the removal of the free radical. It's a biochemical occurrence as well as what appears to be a psychological one. Wow. And it's important, I think, for a lot of people that get into the stuff I do with, the people I do it with. They do get radically into diet, which is great, but there's more around this. It's what do we have going on in our psyches, in our spirit. If we're in a constant state of worrying if we're doing the right thing, if there's something more extreme we should be doing, should I be fasting, is this organic, the whole litany of rhetoric. Sometimes you come out of a thing like this, you get yourself into a peaceful space, and now the answers come to you on your own. When you're relaxed, it comes in. And what's really cool with that, the infrared sauna, what makes the infrared so intriguing, it's a true metaphor for the quantum physics perspective on life. The infrared sauna, if you notice, is not very hot. It's not like going to a Russian bathhouse, which is phenomenal. Love the bathhouse. That's an experience. Go to the 10th Street bath in Manhattan. It's an independent film waiting to happen. Crazy, but great, the best. But this thing, what makes it so interesting, infrared energy penetrates the body about 1.5 inches and can remove the buildup of foreign, noxious, toxic metals, radiation, drugs, chemicals, alcohol. It attacks all these kind of things in the liver and they release through the skin. Now what's interesting, and here's the metaphor for life, the reason it's not too hot in there is because infrared energy cannot penetrate a tightened body. If you're in the Russian bath, whether you know it or not, and it's really hot, you're a little tense. It's 180 degrees. Once you tense up, then the healing can't get in. It's a metaphor for everything in life. So what this thing does is it coaxes you into ease with 140 degree heat, which is a comfortable heat, so you let your defenses down. And now the healing comes in. You see? It truly is a metaphor for how we're supposed to be living. There's a great old Chinese, I guess you'd call it parable, called The North Wind and the Sun, which may have nothing to do with nothing, but knowing the kind of people that get into this, it's really important. And also for therapists out there and speakers. There's too many angry people writing books and speaking. I've heard some people all young enough to be my kids, on the internet just railing. Like if you don't do this, you're a piece of whale shit, and if you don't do that, it's like, how is this helping people? The North Wind and the Sun is a parable where the wind is hanging out with the sun up there in the sky, and the wind turns to the sun and says, everybody gives you so much credit, thinks you're the bomb, I'm stronger than you, I'm tougher than you, I'll prove it to you. You see that guy down there? I'm going to blow that cloak right off his back. So the wind starts blowing hard as all hell, blowing. The guy's hanging on to be alive. Finally he gives up and says, that guy's cheap, he's never going to let it go. And the sun says, give me a shot. The wind says, what are you going to do? And the sun hits the guy with a beautiful, loving ray of light. And the guy takes the coat off voluntarily, which is awesome, you know? And that's kind of what the infrared is. It doesn't beat you over the head with heat. And a lot of people who are type A will get in the infrared. And what the hell is this? I'm not sweating. And then all of a sudden, half an hour later, and they're drenched in this motor oil of a sweat, and they didn't even feel it coming. So it's these two things, to me, get people in that Eckhart Tolle space, that Zen space, and then it allows what they know to really work. That's what they're about. They're a really cool, what would be the word, extra, supplement to the whole diet, lifestyle thing. And again, in a city like Manhattan, which is a great place, I mean, if you're going to be deathly ill, even though the environment sucks here, there's no air quality, there's not as much green, there's not as much sun, yada, yada, yada. If you're going to be deathly ill here, because we'll fix you. If you got cancer, you go to Bali, you're probably going to die. There's not enough there to fix you. That's the irony of the whole thing. You know? So in a city like this, where people are health conscious, the environment does beat you up. There's no oxygen, there's no negative ions, it's a mess. These kinds of things are the counter to that environment, which is why they're so important. And that's, you know, that's what it's about. That's why it's here.
Very cool. For people that want to come here, how would they get a hold of you?
I'm going to show you how this is how bad I am. We have a new phone number. I don't know what the fuck it is.